Hey, mamas, welcome to our Mamas Talk Money, the legacy you leave live. I want you to share with me quick in the comments, where are you coming in from? Have you ever been to a Mamas Talk Money event before? Just say hi, let me know how it's going, because today I am so excited. As some of you know, if you've been around for a while, we used to do these big events, Mamas Talk Money, and they were free week-long events with so many speakers. And the thing is, we did two of them. The second time we did the event, we had over 26,000 moms in attendance. And it was amazing. In so many ways, it was amazing. But what we started to notice after that second year was that moms got to the end of that weekend. Hey, friends. Kim, Amber, Sandy, welcome. How you guys doing? Rachel. Oh my gosh, I love seeing everybody come in. This is so fun. Okay, so we saw people get to the end of those weeks and they were excited and they were motivated and they had fun, but they were also exhausted because we did so much in 5 days. And so what we started to notice was that people were hyped, but they needed a break. And so they took a break and then they kind of went back to their old habits. And while they learned a lot, it didn't necessarily turn into action. And so last year we took the year off. We didn't do any events. We focused on the Motivated Mama Society, which is our monthly membership community. We built that up. We had so much fun. But Lauren and I, who Lauren's my right hand at Smart Money Mamas, we missed running a live event. I love live video. If you guys have ever watched me do live video, you're watching me right now, this is hype for me. This is what I love. I love seeing you guys comment, getting to know you. Hey, Bun. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Ann. Oh my gosh, you guys are all amazing. Flip exhausted. Yeah, I'm exhausted. But so yeah, and sorry, everybody from the events were exhausted. So we took last year off, but Lauren and I missed live events, and so we started to think about, how do we do this differently? How do we run an event in a way that is inspiring and energizing and educational, but not to the point where you're drained and where you're not just in learning mode? So often we sign up for courses, we sign up for summits, we sign up for events, and we really just kind of become sponges. And when we're learning at those events, that's a good thing, but it's kind of like false productivity, right? It feels like you're doing the right thing, but you're not actually making any movement forward, right? You're not making those habits stick. And that's what's really important, right? We want to make sure that what we're learning becomes better habits, better mindsets, better results for everybody. And so we decided what we were going to do instead. So instead of these 5-day mega events, we're going to do 2 weekends a year. We're going to do half days, noon to 8, and we're going to really focus in on making sure we get people talking, we get people working, okay? And so what we do is each day, we're gonna talk about this more as we go in, because this is a speaker review. You guys see all these beautiful women on this slide right here. We're gonna talk about who they are. We're gonna talk about the speakers you haven't seen yet, right? There's some really incredible stuff that's gonna be going on over here. But I want to tell you, we're gonna be doing this event in a way that helps you take action. So everything's going to be live. We're going to do a daily 90-minute Zoom workshop, and I'm going to teach, and then I'm going to break you guys into small groups to discuss and take notes and feel like you have an answer. And then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss, and we're going to give you another task. And so by the end of the weekend, when we talk about the legacy you leave, by the end of this weekend, you are going to have a sense of what your family money values are. You're going to have a vision of the legacy you want to leave for your kids and your community. And then you're going to have the action steps you're going to take to start that ball rolling. Okay. It's going to be amazing. So first off, we decided to do these events, right? Twice a year. It's going to be what we're going to be doing from now forward, April and October. So mark your calendars for October, because this is coming again, right, guys? And so why did we decide that the first theme of the weekend was going to be financial legacy? Of all the things that we could talk about in money and business and raising financially savvy kids, why was financial legacy the place we had to start? We had to start with financial legacy because this is the core of everything that we're doing. When we motivate moms to come in and make big changes, so often their answer for that is because they realized that their kids were watching them. And they realized that they had to do better if they wanted to teach better. And that's the thing. Sometimes we get moms who aren't quite ready to do the work yet. And those are the moms that come to me and are like, I'm not ready to talk about my stuff. I'm just always going to be bad with money. But can you tell me how to teach my kid? And the unfortunate answer to that is I can't. I can't help you raise a financially savvy kid if day in and day out they are watching you have limiting beliefs about money. If day in and day out they're watching you have stress and anxiety and fear related to money, because those intentional conversations um, that we had were great. When we sit down and we lecture our kid and we try to teach them a specific thing, those are great. But that's a piece of the puzzle, right? And most of what the kids see is what we're actually doing. And so we have some people here that say they did take action in the 2020 summit, which is amazing. And they did. This person said they did exactly what we said, which is only go to the sessions that were relevant to them, and that's great. But this is going to be kind of having this theme weekend, and so we have to know. And so many moms, all of us, really, right? We want our kids to enter adulthood more prepared than we were, more ready for life, and to have the stability and the confidence to use money as a tool to create lives they want, right? Lives they love. We want to be able to be financially stable enough to pursue our own passions, to invest in our communities and the things that matter to us and support causes that matter to us. We want to make sure that not only do we make ourselves wealthier and amazing, we make our kids better. And then they have the tools to make their kids a little bit better, right? We're changing the story. We're breaking cycles. We are moving money from something that's taboo and stressful and terrible, and we're moving it to something that gives us freedom and power. And so that's why we're starting with financial legacy, because whether you are already at your first 100K, first $1 million in assets, or you're still working your way out of debt, either way, it's time to take a step back and think about, how are the moves that you're making today becoming the legacy that you want? Are you stuck in the day-to-day, the monotony, whether that means negative financial choices or ones that are leading to dollars, but dollars in a way that don't align with your values? And are there shifts we can make? Are there shifts we can make to make our kids better off? Okay. So, let's dive into what this summit is going to look like. Okay. We're going to talk about we're going to go through the entire schedule. We're going to show you what the event is, and we're going to go through the entire schedule, introducing you to all the speakers, and we're gonna dive in. Okay. I'm watching the comments here, guys. It's going really fast for me. So I don't know how it looks on every one of these platforms, but we are currently live on YouTube, on our Facebook page, in our free Facebook group, and on TikTok on my phone right here. And so I am just watching all these chats go crazy. So I'm trying to catch up. So Melinda says, I want to do better for my kiddos, teach them better than we had and set them up. And that's amazing, right? So, so good. Okay. So what's this event all about? This is a 3-day virtual conference, all live, for moms who want to cultivate a wealthy mindset, create a thriving financial legacy for their family, and build generational wealth that lasts. 70% of generational wealth is lost by the second generation. 90% is gone by the third generation. So are you going to do all this work, all this hustle, everything to build wealth, to pass it on to kids who are going to squander it? We don't want that. We want to actually build wealth that can set them up, that can lead them to success. Okay. So that's fantastic. So Griselda wants to know, can we see recordings? Absolutely. So this is how it's going to work. You'd like to see some live and watch them later. You don't want to stress out. So the replays will be available in the event Facebook group immediately after they're done. And we'll talk about this later on, but everyone who gets a ticket to Mamas Talk Money, The Legacy You Leave, is also going to get 30 days of access to the Motivated Mama Society. No credit card required, no repeat payments. It's just going to give you 30 days of access. The reason for that is we want to let you continue to have this community support and access for time after the summit. As you're processing all this stuff, as you're going back and having conversations with your kids and your partners, we want you to have access to me and to other moms who are going through this, to ask questions, to get resources. And so all of the replays will go into the Motivated Mama Society vault. You'll be able to watch them for 30 days. We'll have 2 live Q&As with me during that period of time. We're going to actually have some other speakers and experts come in during that period of time to also do either Q&As or teachings. And so the event is 3 days, but you're going to get some continued access to everything, and you'll definitely get access to those replays. Okay. Awesome. So here we go. This event, we're going to do 3 days, 6 powerful keynote sessions. I'm going to tell you about the keynotes as we get into the speakers and the announcements. I can't wait to tell you guys about the speakers. 30 plus powerhouse speakers, women who are experts in money, career, parenting, business. We tried to make this a full holistic view of wealth and let us have some really deep discussions about wealth, right? Because we want to make sure that we're not just building some legacy, someone else's idea of legacy, but what your unique legacy and values are. Okay. We're going to have 3 interactive workshops, one each day to create that legacy action plan like we talked about. We're going to have a pop-up Facebook group with tons of new mom friends to start this journey with, right? We're going to be doing thousands of dollars of giveaways throughout the event. We're going to be doing pajama party Q&As every night of the event. That's when I come live. We play a little bit of trivia based on what happened that day, which is when we give out prizes. And then I hang out as long as you guys need me to answer questions. Okay. And then that's those live Q&A sessions that are mentioned there last. And so who's ready to get into the schedule? Does anybody want to see who our speakers are and get introduced to these amazing women? Drop in the comments if you're ready for this. And I'm going to take a sip of my water because I feel like I'm going 1,000 miles an hour. All right. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about the set schedule. Day 1, Friday. The theme, what does legacy mean? What does it mean to you? What does that word mean? What are the range of definitions for those words? That's what we're doing day 1. So day 1, I'm going to kick us off and I'm going to do a whole keynote on exactly what legacy is and why it's important. Okay? And then we're going to jump into our first panel, which is the true meaning of wealth. Does wealth mean money? Does wealth mean time? Does wealth mean a range of opportunities and freedom? We're going to break it down with Jamila Souffrant from Journey to Launch. Jamila is amazing. She runs the Journey to Launch podcast, all about helping you reach financial independence. She is a fantastic person. And she's what she calls work flexible. And so she's not fully financially independent yet, but she had the ability to leave her full-time job to start a business from the ground up and run Journey to Launch. She's amazing. Then we have Sandy Smith from Yes, I Am Cheap. She is a fantastic story of building her own assets, starting from the beginning, paying off debt, and really building this amazing legacy for herself. And so she's going to share what her definition of wealth is. And she's still traditional 9 to 5 employed, as well as running her business. And so she's great kind of perspective on not just walking away from traditional work, but what can freedom mean in the realm of normal employment. Okay. And then Liz Thames, better known as Frugalwoods. Guys, if you don't read the Frugalwoods blog, go check it out. Liz retired at 32 and moved from Cambridge, outside of Boston, to Vermont on a 66-acre homestead. She still runs her site and does some freelance writing, but she and her husband are early retired, and they live with their girls on their homestead where they fell and chop their own firewood, and they have massive gardens. And she is a fantastic person on environmentalism and gentle parenting and what financial independence and financial freedom means. And so we are going to dive into what is the true meaning of wealth and how can we talk about that. And so for every panel and every talk, okay, guys, there's going to be a 30 to 40 minute session followed by 15 minutes of live Q&A. So you will have access to talk to these speakers, to ask them questions, to be there. Okay. Awesome. Next up, we've got the importance of family money values. Do you guys know what family money values is? Anybody hands up? Family money values. Family money values are your family's set rules for how you handle money. How do you talk about money as a family? What are your priorities? What are your goals? What is your money mindset and money mantras that you're teaching your kids? What are the lessons you want to teach your kids? Okay. My favorite thing is talking about family money values. And so we have Shang. Oh my gosh, guys, I just totally, from Save My Sense. My brain, I do not have enough sleep. Shang from Save My Sense. She is also early retired in her early 30s. And now she teaches people how to retire with comfort, right? And have a dignified retirement no matter where you're starting. Then we have Kay from the Mom Trotter. I love Kay. So Kay homeschools and travel schools her kids. They have been to 36 countries with their kids, and she is super focused on how financial freedom and financial independence, financial flexibility can give you options as a family to prioritize how you want to educate your kids, the experiences you want to give them. Okay. And so she is amazing. She also runs the site Black Kids Do Travel, talking about diversifying how we think about travel and giving more families the opportunity to travel, which I love. And then we have Sarah Newcomb. Sarah Newcomb works for Morningstar, which if you guys don't know is like a financial company, but she's a behavioral scientist. And what she does is take all the research about how our brains work and transmit it into things that we can actually apply to our own finances. So she's a behavioral economist. Super, super cool. I cannot wait to have this conversation with this group of people because, Shang has a really interesting perspective about how money is used throughout her multi-generational, family. Kay is obviously taken a completely different lifestyle. And then Sarah has all this education and knowledge and amazing. Okay. Somebody said Mrs. Frugalwoods is why I started thinking of retiring early. I'm so excited. It feels like Christmas came early. Yeah. Kay is great. Such a good lineup. Oh my gosh, these ladies, I can't believe it. Okay. Then we have our next keynote. So if you guys haven't checked it out, Molly Grubb has a TED Talk. You can check it out on YouTube, all about dynastic thinking and why every mom needs to adopt this thought process of what is the dynasty that I'm building, right? How do we think about, whether that's money, whether that's values, whether that's lessons, how do we build a dynasty of financial thriving and living within our values? Okay, Molly has a fantastic story, and she's actually a premier CFO agent. So for entrepreneurs who've grown to the point where they really need to take things to the next level, but they're not ready to hire a full-time CFO because that's a very expensive thing. They hire a company like Molly's to help them streamline, make sure they aren't working themselves to the bone and make more in profit. Okay. So she's an amazing person, so much knowledge, really interesting family story. And so I can't wait for you guys to see her talk on dynastic thinking. All right. And then we have breaking generational money cycles. This is how we're going to end the day on Monday because so many people, they're the first ones in their families really building wealth, right? They're coming from places where maybe you had parents that kind of made it by, they're retiring okay, or maybe you really came from a place of poverty and you're going to be the first one to change the mindset. And I want to mention here that even if you have a lot of money, even if your family's well off and you're successful, there could be generational mindset things that you need to cycle break. Things about being a workaholic. I spoke to a woman last year who runs 3 businesses. And she said that both of her parents died in their early 60s from overwork. Basically, they worked themselves to death. And she works around the clock running 3 businesses like crazy. And she's having a really hard time breaking that. And I even asked her, do you want that for your son? Her son's 3 or 4. And she was like, I kind of do. Like, I know that sounds bad and I know I need to work on it, but I would think he was lazy if he didn't do that. And those are things we want to change, right? Do we want to raise kids who feel like they have to hustle, 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 hustle and work themselves to death to succeed? No. Do we want to raise kids who think it's impossible for them to build wealth? No, no, no. Okay. And so we want to teach them the balance. And so we're going to talk about how do we break generational money cycles, especially when we're going to continue to have a relationship with our families, right? We're not just going to cut people out because they don't agree with us. Depending on the case, right? Sometimes that's necessary. But how do we grow individually without feeling like we're constantly explaining ourselves or that we're insulting the people that are around us? How do we break those cycles? And so I love this talk. I can't wait. And Dasha Kennedy she's the founder of the Broke Black Girl. Her platform is all about tearing down gender and racial wealth gaps. Her platform is amazing. She has such good insight on that. Then we have Soledad, who runs Wealth Paratidos. Guys, I don't speak Spanish and I'm butchering this and I'm so sorry. Soledad is amazing. She also talks specifically a lot about breaking generational money cycles, especially in Latina households. And then we have Dee Olateru. Dee is fantastic. And this panel is just going to be so important. So Dee is the founder of the Rich Immigrant, which is a financial literacy platform that empowers first and second generation immigrants to attain financial independence and live authentically in their new country. And so this is about not becoming Americanized, not stripping of your culture, but also figuring out how to find financial independence when maybe the expectation from your culture is to pay back to older family members or support cousins. And how do we set those boundaries, right? And so guys, drop in the comments if you think there's any generational money cycles that you want to be able to break. Cassie said, that she wants her husband to not work himself to death. But are there things that you can see in your family that you experienced and maybe you've carried a little bit of it forward into adulthood, but that you don't want your kids to carry? Drop that in the comments. I really want to know. And so I'm going to pause here because this is the end of day 1. After this session, we're going to go into pajama party Q&A. And so before we go into day 2, I want to take a moment and say that the giveaways that we start all event, they start now. And so we're doing 3 giveaways tonight. And the way the giveaways are going to work is that we're going to choose giveaways from people who have commented in the chat. We're going to put your guys' names in, and after the event, we will tag everybody who has won. There's going to be a first prize, like we said, to a free pass to the event. There's going to be a giveaway for a Legacy Builder sweatshirt, which is just like this, and then a giveaway for a Mamas Talk Money, Empowered Women Create Generational Wealth travel mug with this amazing coffee and tea from a company called Any Sips, which is based here in Connecticut, that is owned, veteran-owned, Black-owned, woman-owned business right here in Connecticut. They're amazing. Their tea and their coffee is so, so good. And so this is here. So someone on TikTok is saying they wish that they had joined when this started. I just want to mention to everybody that the replay of this will be on Facebook and YouTube. And so if you got to step away, your kids got to go to bed, the replay will be up and you can check it out. And so we're also, for those of us on TikTok, we are live on YouTube and Facebook, which is where you guys can see the slides and the picture of these beautiful women. Because guys, I don't understand. Every time we run an event, we pull all the pictures together of all our speakers, which are normally anywhere from like 30 to 45 speakers. And it's just beautiful women. Like, just all of them are gorgeous and brilliant. And I just am so proud of all of them. Like, oh my gosh, I just love them all. So, so good. All right. So make sure you're commenting, make sure you're sharing. We're going to do giveaways tonight. We're going to pick them after the event. And so make sure you're commenting. And I'm going to read some of these comments because this is why we're talking about financial legacy. This right here is all the people that are currently commenting about the things they don't want their kids to carry forward. This is what we have to do, right? I work so much on building, I don't take time to enjoy life. Not having any money mindset or structure around money. Tons of people saying scarcity mindset, right? They don't want that. They don't want their kids to have irresponsible money management. Yes, 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 yes. I want my kid to learn how to save and still have money to spend for fun. Let's touch on this for just real quick second. And I understand that I tend to talk way long, and I always intend these lives to be like 40 minutes and then they're an hour, and that's fine. But so often, because we all have scarcity mindsets, because we might struggle with saving ourselves, especially if you're a parent who identifies more as a spender than a saver, and you get a kid that's a saver, and so they just want to tuck money away and hide it and hide it and hide it. It's so easy to be like, they're going to be great at money. Like, don't have to worry about them. But that can often tie into a scarcity mindset and a lot of fear and anxiety around money. So when you have a kid that you're seeing super hyper save and not enjoy their money, we have to also go the other way and teach them how to have fun for it too. We have some people here who are child of immigrants and wanting to hear this specific talk, which is so important. I'd like them to understand that work from home does not equal laziness and that work-life balance with our kids is so much more important than overtime and money. Yeah. How do we navigate that with our parents who the whole structure of work has changed, right? Generationally, we've seen this huge shift and we've seen the ability to earn more in less time. And I think this is a really interesting thing. When you look at charts of productivity over time, and you see this massive boom in productivity as we saw technology and computers come on the screen, we actually saw working hours also go up, which makes no sense. How are we more productive per hour than ever before by multitudes, but yet somehow we're working more? Why? We can be productive in less time and find that balance. Let's figure out how to do that, right? And prioritize that, okay? So, helping mom pay their bills. We don't want to have to do that. I have a problem doing a lot of overtime on weekends and not being able to spend time with my kids, and that's not something I want them to do. Okay, I can't read all this, but guys, these are hard, right? These are the things that maybe we don't love about ourselves or about our families, but we can make changes. We can break the cycle. And that is what we're trying to do in this event. This is where we're defining what we want to do differently, how we are going to make this be the start. Your legacy starts now. What are you creating for your kids? Even if you can't get there overnight, but what are the small steps that we're taking? What are we showing them the changes that we're making? Okay. April says, I want my daughter to be confident she can make good money and be a boss. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Okay. Jay says, I want to choose work in traditional positions and not assume that it's the only option. Yeah. Yeah. We have choices, right? Okay. So let's move into day two because we're running late. Okay. So we're gonna skip. Day two is, what legacy do you want? Now you know what legacy is. Maybe we've thought a lot on day one about what do we not want to pass on? What do we see that we're creating by our choices today? And is that what we really want? And so day two, we're talking all about what legacy do you want? And we're going to start the day on day two with a money mindset meditation from Lisa Peterson. Lisa Peterson runs an amazing platform. The Wealth Clinic. Oh my gosh, my brain, guys, I'm going way too fast. The Wealth Clinic. And she wrote the book Mindful Millionaire, which is about finding that balance, right? Being somebody who aligns their money with their values, who knows what they want, but also demands what they're worth and builds wealth and knows that they are worthy of that wealth. And she does amazing meditations to help us think about our mindset. And we knew we had to start Saturday with a mindset meditation. We had to do it because we're taking this day to dream, to come up with the big picture of what we want. And we can't do that if we're starting the day in a place of scarcity. And so Lisa's going to help us open up and really think about what we want. Okay. And then we're going to move into our very first keynote of the day, which is with Patrice Washington of Redefining Wealth. Patrice is incredible. I love her so much. She is a fantastic speaker. She has a fascinating story, and she is going to teach us that we are worthy of a legacy. She's going to share her story of building $1 million business, watching it go bankrupt and ending up living on her friends' couches with her kid, and then building another business and following her true passions and values and the impact she wanted to have on the world that time and rebuilding that wealth from zero. She is just an amazing human being, and I can't wait to share this keynote with you all. And I'm so excited that we get to have these Q&As with our keynote speakers, right? So often, even when you go to in-person events, the keynotes are fantastic and we love them, but then they leave the stage, right? They don't leave that time to really interact with these amazing, brilliant people. And so this time we're going to have that option. And so Patrice, oh, mwah, love Patrice. Okay. The next panel after that is this many styles of financial legacy. And in this panel, we're going to talk about what are the different things you can do. Okay, absolutely. Financial legacy and generational wealth means dollars in the bank that we can pass on to our families. Sure. But the bigger picture is, what are the skills that we're teaching them? Do we want them to have all the money when we pass away, or do we want to start to transfer that wealth earlier? Do we want to help them pay for college or not? Do we want to help them buy their first house or start their first business? What do we want to do? And so we have Janice Torres Rodriguez, who runs Yo Quiero Dinero, which is a podcast all about helping Latina women build wealth. We have Dr. Nicole Garner Scott, who's the founder of Amount Financial. And she also does some amazing talks on estate planning and how to really think about what are these generational wealth that we're building. And then we have Meg Palazzolo, who's actually from Haven Life. Haven Life is our gold sponsor for this event. We love Haven Life. They're an excellent term life insurance provider, and she's their head of customer success. And so they have over 250,000 life insurance customers, and she's the head of the education for that audience around life insurance, around estate planning, around financial literacy. And so she's going to help us kind of bring some of the professional side into this estate planning. But when we talk about from Trust and Will. I keep doing this. Trust and Will. You guys are going to think this is really funny. So we have Haven Life, who is our gold sponsor. And then we have Trust and Will, who is our bronze sponsor. The reason I keep combining them and confusing them is because Haven Life and Trust and Will are partnered. And so if you get a life insurance policy from Haven Life, you get a will from Trust and Will. And Haven Life, I used to write for Haven Life. I love their platform. That's how I heard about Trust and Will, and I keep confusing them. So Meg is from Trust and Will, and she is their head of customer success, and so she's going to help teach us about estate planning. Diana, will there be content for Canadians for estate planning? We don't have anybody specific for Canadians for estate planning. We do have a Canadian finance speaker who might be able to touch on it, but we don't currently have an option that's just for Canadian estate planning. We want Meg to work everywhere. It's very, very true. All right, so let's keep going. The next panel This is going to be fun. I'm super excited about this panel because it's about voting with our dollars. So how can we take the wealth that we're building? How can we take this money that we're building and make sure that we're putting our dollars in places that align with our values and create the world that we want to live in, right? How do we do that? And so that's what we're talking about in this panel. Okay. So we have Tanya Hester. Tanya is the writer. She's the author of Wallet Activism. She's her new book on how to use your money to align with your values. She talks about what I love about that book is she talks about all the angles, the things that we think are good that maybe aren't as good, and how to understand the systems and ask the right questions to know if the companies and practices you're supporting are going to be there. Okay. Then we have Amy Domini. Amy Domini, guys, was on Time's 100 Most Influential People. Okay, like Time's Most Influential People. What? And she is well known as the spearhead of the ethical and impact investing movement. So she runs Domini Investments, and she is amazing. Okay. And then we have Kyara Gray. So Kyara Gray is the co-founder of Charm City Buyers. They are real estate investors, mostly in the Baltimore area, but they have now teach other people how to become real estate investors. But what they specialize in is investing in historically Black neighborhoods without gentrifying or pushing out culture that is already there, right? That's a big problem. And so she's going to talk about how do we be responsible real estate investors? How do we look better, look closer at what we're doing and how we're changing neighborhoods and make sure that we're preserving the areas that need to be preserved. Okay. So fantastic. This panel is going to be amazing. And somebody said, I can't wait to someday have enough wealth to feel like I'm making a difference. And this is something that we're going to touch on all weekend, is the fact that even if you don't yet have a lot of wealth, you can make a huge impact. And you need to embrace your financial power because we do live in a capitalist society, and that has a lot of problems. Okay. We're going to admit that. Okay. It's a lot of problems. But it also means that demand is a major factor. So when you want to change something politically, you want to get a bill changed, you want to ban something, it's a huge years and years long process, right? We got to elect the right people. We got to get them to actually do what they say they're going to do. It is not something that is easy. But when you get a company to see a fall in revenue by 1%, right? You stop buying a certain product. They're going to make a shift to follow to make sure they get the most demand. And so when you think about that, and you think about what are the values you most want to follow, because every dollar you spend is not going to be aligned perfectly. That's way too much work. You're not going to research every single company you spend money on. We don't want this to become something stressful. But when you pick what's most important to you and put the money where you want it to go, you can make a huge difference. Okay. So just paying attention to where you spend day to day is absolutely has a huge impact. Okay. So then we have our next keynote. Guys, this keynote, oh, I'm so excited. So this is Dr. Tracy Baxley. She wrote Social Justice Parenting, How to Raise Just Kids in an Unjust World. Her book is fantastic. Her TED Talk is fantastic. But she's coming in to talk about practicing radical love in social justice parenting. This is all about accepting our kids for who they are by raising kids who are aware of the world around them and the impact of the world around of the impact of their choices and their words on the world around them, so that we raise good humans. We're not talking about a legacy. Like we said, we're not talking about a legacy that is just dollars in the bank. That's not worth it. We need to make sure that we are a family, that we are families that live our values, that do our best work. And so Tracy is going to teach us how to do that. How do we practice radical love? How do we teach kids kindness in an unkind world, right? And how do we be honest with them about what those options are? Her book is fantastic. Okay. Somebody says I'm going to need another huge notebook for notes. And I want to mention when we get to the end of this, stick around, guys, because in just a few minutes, when we get to the end of this, we're going to show you that we have a special bonus for people who register in the first 48 hours. So I wasn't supposed to tell you, but we're going to open registration early. We were supposed to open registration till tomorrow, but we're going to open it at the end of this thing. And the people who register in the first 48 hours are going to get a Legacy Builder notebook and a Legacy Builder 9 sticker pack that has like these amazing vinyl stickers that say Legacy Builder and Smart Money Mama and Smart Money Kid and all the things that we want those mindsets for you to be able to bring into your life. Okay. And so that is what we're going to do at the end of this. And so make sure you stick around because you could take all your notes in that notebook. Yeah. Oof. How do we teach kindness in an unkind world? Right. So powerful. And Tracy is an amazing speaker. So good. Going to be so good. Okay. The next panel after that, this is the last panel of the day, is how to raise independent and financially savvy kids. How do we raise kids that go out into the world and thrive? It's actually one of my favorite sayings is that I'm not raising kids, I'm raising adults, right? I don't want them to stay kids. I want them to become independent, powerful adults. Definitely check out Dr. Tracy's book, guys. Fantastic. Okay. So this panel is featuring Dee from Kids Money Academy. She is a CPA that focuses on teaching parents how to teach kids about money. This is a system of giving them increased autonomy as they get older so that they've practiced when they're young and they got the chance to make mistakes young. She is amazing. Really, really amazing what she does. Then we have Robin Tobe, sorry. I always say it's Tob, but it's Tobe. Robin Tobe, who wrote The Wisest Investment, which is all about how the wisest investment in your financial future is raising kids who are good with money, right? Which is the whole focus of this event. And so she's going to be there. And then we have Therese Lewis. So Therese Lewis works at the Empowerment Center, and she focuses on building resilience in kids. And how do we raise resilient kids that can work through hard things to get to their goals? Because this is something our kids, we want to raise dreamers and kids who do amazing things, but sometimes life is hard. Sometimes, and you have to work through it. This week, to be completely honest with you guys here, I am on day 7 of I've been hustling to get you guys to get ready for this, to unveil for this. And so I'm averaging sleeping 3.5 hours a night the last week. This is not something I recommend. Smart Money Mamas Talk Money is all about finding balance and making sure that you are taking care of yourself as you take care of your wealth, right? But life has seasons. And while I would never recommend that you do this long term, there are going to be moments where you have to work really hard, when you have to deal with setbacks. And teaching your kids resilience is going to be an important part of that. And I wanted to make sure that's in this panel. So this panel is going to be all about how do we raise those independent and financially savvy kids at all ages, right? No matter when we're starting. It's sometimes it seems easier to start when your kids are 4, right? They're a little bit more of a blank slate. But how do you start when they're 16? How do you start when they're 21? Right? And they're coming back for money. So best investment is raising kids who are good with money. Yes. Because then they can manage your money when that time comes. Yeah, when it passes on. But also, here's something that, like, we talk about this all the time. And we actually did some TikToks about it earlier. If you don't follow us on TikTok, go check it out at Smart Money Mamas. We're doing a ton of work over there. But I was talking about how in our house, we think about our financial ecosystem. And I'm going to talk about this during the event and explain to you guys what that means. But I don't want to raise kids who can manage with money, right? Who know how to budget and kind of do the basics. I want to make sure that the financial ecosystem means how do we make sure each independent area of the family stays in stasis or thriving so that it doesn't bring down other parts, right? When the kid's not doing well, they have to come to mom and dad for money. That hurts mom and dad. When mom and dad are struggling, that causes a lot of stress for the kid of, am I going to have to support my parents in retirement? Am I going to have to help them pay the bills, right? And so we want everybody to thrive. And so when I talk to my boys about money, when we talk about allowance, I don't want them to just manage money. I want them to, when they're 16, 17, be coming to me with business ideas, to be asking about the investments, to be asking about our donor advised fund and how we give to charity, and are there better ways to go to charity, donate to charity. I want them to be bringing us real estate ideas or money ideas when they're older, and to be part of the team. I want us to look at money as a team generationally, not just mom and dad, not just the kids separately, but how do we make sure that we have this ecosystem being built, right? And so that is absolutely what we want to do and what we want to talk about, okay? So somebody said, I just want to know that my family will be thriving because I never had that. And that's what we want, right? Okay. Yes, to be independent is thriving as adult, raising financial rock stars. I love that. Great, great comment. Emily said, this will be so helpful. I adopted my daughter when she was 15 and she and I have very different money mindsets. Yeah. When you're starting, this is the thing, Emily. It's easy to see that you guys have very different money mindsets at 15, but most of our core money beliefs are actually set around age 7. And so even when you're starting with your 10-year-old, it's not the blank slate that you think, and which means you have to approach those conversations with a lot more grace and not whatever. Latricia says it's not okay. I didn't get any sleep. Yes, I know. I'm going to get sleep right after this. Okay. All right. So somebody says we call our little family a team as well, and we all have important responsibility. At 3, he gets it. Criselda says, I want my kid to be good with money, and I say I learned from mom. Yes. Okay. Can somebody screenshot that for me? Because that is exactly, I just love that. I want my kid to be good with money and say I learned from mom. Yes. So good. Diana says, As a mama of a neurodivergent kiddo, I'm concerned about the damage impulsivity can do, and how can I equip my kiddo so they have the tools that work for how their brain works? Yes, Diana, so often we assume people that are neurodivergent are naturally bad with money, and it actually really impacts their money mindset because people say, "Oh, you have ADHD, you're going to be bad with money, you're going to be impulsive. Oh, you have autism, you're going to be terrible with money." And that's not the case. They just need systems that work for them, right? There are amazing seven-figure business owners and people who've built immense wealth who have neurodivergencies. And it's just about working within your system. So I'm super glad that you're thinking about that. Okay. So let's move on to day 3. Day 3, we're going to build that legacy. We know what we want. We know the vision of what we're going to create. And so now we're going to build that legacy. And so we're going to start day 3 with a panel on how to build real lasting wealth. There's going to be a third panelist on this, but we had a little bit of a scheduling difficulty. This happens when things are going to be live. And so there's going to be a third person. But first we have Mandy Woodruff. Mandy runs Mandy Money, and she's also one of the co-hosts on Brown Ambition, the podcast with Tiffany Aliche. She is fantastic, and she's going to talk about how do you build wealth in a traditional career? How do you level up and get paid what you're worth in a 9-to-5? Because we do live in a society that really acts like entrepreneurship is the only way to build wealth, and that's not true. It's a great way, but it's not for everybody. Right? It's unstable. It's all on you, and that can be really hard. You don't have health benefits necessarily. You do. You have to pay for them. It's just pay through the nose for them. And so she's going to talk about how do we build wealth in a traditional career. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And Liz Faircloth runs Real Estate Invest Her, teaching women how to build wealth with real estate. And so she's going to talk about how you can use real estate to build wealth. And the third person on the panel is going to specialize in investing. And so we'll have all 3 of those on there for you. And so we're going to talk about how to build real lasting wealth. Day 3 is fire, guys, because we're about to reveal to you who our 2 keynotes are on Friday and on Sunday, and the third day, Friday. That is not the third day. All right. So, so much good packed into the summit. We love this. Okay. All right. The first keynote of the day is Rachel Peterson. Rachel Peterson is a social media expert that teaches entrepreneurs how to build their business without working crazy hours, right? Okay. Day 2 had 2 speakers before the 2 p.m. time. Let's pause on that. I probably screwed up the time. Every day starts at noon. And so we're going to start at noon and rock it out. Okay. Actually, Sunday does start at 11 p.m. Eastern time. So, but we start at noon. All right. So Rachel has an amazing story of being a single mom on welfare and going from there to building 2 multi-million-dollar businesses. And she did not start those businesses with a lot of resources. She started those businesses with no resources. She didn't have the money for courses or tools. She started with what she had, with free trainings and the cheapest website she could build. And she has this incredible story of how she has overcome fear and taken steps towards building that true abundance and wealth and what that means, right? And so she's going to tell her story, and she's going to tell you how to overcome that fear. If you've made your plans through this weekend or you're watching this right now, just realize that I said we started at 11 p.m. No, we're not doing that. That's not healthy. Don't do that. We're starting at 11 a.m. There we go, everybody. Okay. So she's going to talk about how do we build wealth on a low income. And someone just said that in the comments. They want to learn how to build wealth on a low income. You're going to love both these keynotes on day 3. Those are going to be your big investment, is both of these keynotes on day 3. So she's going to be amazing. Rachel Peterson. We're so glad to have her. If you don't follow her on TikTok and you want to start a business and grow that business without paying for ads, but grow that business organically, go follow her. She's amazing. Okay. Then we're going to talk about effective systems for building wealth. So we talked about the ways to build wealth in panel 1. We talked about unlocking that fear in the first keynote. Okay. This panel is going to be, what are the systems we can put in place? What are the ways that we can automate and make sure that we stick to these things even when we get busy, right? Even when life tries to pull us back to those bad habits because we're having an emotional day or whatever. And so this panel is Elena Fingel from The Organized Money. So she teaches people who are overwhelmed with money how to manage it on paper without taking a lot of time. So she has a fantastic platform teaching people with the organized money. Then we have Amanda Holden. Amanda Holden runs the Dog blog. She is also the head of invested development, which is her course teaching you how to invest simply. No matter where you're starting. She is like part comedian, part finance teacher. She used to work as a financial professional. She has a ton of knowledge. She's going to be great about teaching you guys about investing. And then we have Bethany Bayless from the Motherhood and Money Show. I love Bethany. She's a new mom. And she's going to be just talking about budgeting, paying off debt. What are the systems that we can put in place? And so this panel, so fun. Yes, this one is going to be really good. All three of these women are amazing. Everyone we've talked about today is amazing. I don't know how we could really talk about anybody without just being excited. All right. And so then the last panel of the session is how to talk about money, which is kind of funny because we're hosting a summit called Mamas Talk Money, and we're making the last session how to talk about money. And some people would think that shouldn't the first session be how to talk about money? And no, the answer is no. The reason is because we're going to finish this event. And you don't have to be told how to talk about money in Mamas Talk Money. Everybody's ready to talk about money. That's why we're here. Everyone wants to talk about it. What's going to happen is you're going to end this weekend. You're going to be hyped. You're going to have taken action. You're going to have a plan. And then you're going to want to go talk to your spouse and your friends and your parents. And how do you do that effectively? How do you do that without putting people on their guard, without stepping on their money mindset, right? So this panel is going to be first Dr. Wendy Wright. Wendy Wright is a financial therapist. It is her job to help people talk about money in a healthy way. That is what she does. So she is fantastic. Then we have Kirsten Saunders. Kirsten Saunders is one half of Rich and Regular. She and her husband Julian run Rich and Regular. They have a new book coming out in June, which just came out for pre-order. You have go check it out because it's amazing. Like we were in a mastermind together. We used to be in a mastermind together. So we watched them work on their book proposal and it's just going to be fire. But they have a YouTube show called Money at the Table. Julian used to be a chef before they both early retired to start running their business. Julian is a chef, and so they do these amazing shows where Julian actually cooks dinner, and then they have different people at the table, and they talk about money. They've had her parents, they've had friends, they've traveled around, and so she has this whole platform of how to talk about money. And then we have Catherine Tuggle. Catherine is the co-founder of Her Money. Her Money with Jean Chatzky. It's a podcast and a website, and Her Money has been running events, getting women to talk about money for years. And it's actually these fascinating things they used to do. It used to be very, very small. They'd have like 3 to 5 women at a time. You'd go to dinner and they actually just had a bag of like questions, and people would pull a question and answer, how do you feel when somebody asks you how much you make? What is your biggest money fear? Right. And they started these discussions. And so Catherine, who also has a new book coming out in June, I believe, maybe May, is going to help us think through this. How do we talk about money? Right. Somebody says, it took my husband and I a not insignificant amount of time to get aligned with money in our future goals. Talking is so important. Yes, Rachel, talking is important, but talking in a way where you can be heard, right? Lecturing your spouse, trying to drag them along because you're ready to talk about it isn't going to work. You have to take the time to understand their fears, to understand their money history, to not try to fix them because you don't have it all figured out either, but how to talk in a way that actually lets you both hear each other and create a system to move forward. Okay. Somebody says, I like Susie Orman, but this sounds more exciting for sure. Susie Orman is great, but this is going to be a much more holistic, deep view, and no one will be yelling at you and telling you can't deny, not afford it. That won't be happening here. And there's absolutely more here than Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman. And this is what we're trying to change the conversation about. And so one of my big goals of Smart Money Mamas, of running these events, is that, of course, I want to build a generational financial legacy for my family. But one of the reasons I started Smart Money Mamas was to change as much of a generation's experience with money as possible. Right. And I'm doing that through moms because we are the ones who our kids watch, spend money, earn money. How do we talk about money? Our kids are watching us. And statistically, when men think about building wealth, there's been many studies on this. When men think about building wealth, they think about what that money can do for them. When women think about building wealth, They think about what that money can do for their families. And so I run Smart Money Mamas. I focus on moms because that is how we change the story. That is how we make this a generation of kids who know their worth, who manage money, who don't put themselves in very difficult financial situations. And if they do, because mistakes happen, they know how to get out of them. And so that's what we're doing. And so that's our last panel. And then we're going to go into our last keynote. And guys, this keynote, I just love it. Okay, are we ready? Who's ready for the last keynote? I'm doing a drum roll, but it's not working. All right. Kiana Danielle is our last keynote, and she's going to talk about how you create your wealth building ecosystem. She has a 5-step system to build her wealth building ecosystem. Kiana Danielle runs the Invest Diva. She has a huge Instagram and TikTok platform. She teaches women how to invest it responsibly. And so Kiana and I actually have a little bit of a difference of opinion on investing. She does single stock value investing. So not day trading. That's not what she does, but finding stocks that are kind of core good value that you can hold for a really long time. And so that's what she teaches. But she's an amazing story of, she's an immigrant. She came into the country. She worked on Wall Street. At 27, she got fired. After she got fired, she went broke, completely broke, ended up losing her apartment, and living on a friend's couch. And so she went from zero to a $5 million investment portfolio following her wealth building ecosystem. And she talks about the fact that investing is great and compound growth is great. But when you're starting with such small dollars, it's not enough, right? You need to be able to invest more money. So she talks about how do you level up how much you're earning so that you're not only compounding, but you're putting more and more money away and building the wealth that you want. And so hearing those different philosophies is going to be really interesting, right? Somebody said I thought her background was hair for a minute. It is not hair, but she does have glorious hair. All right. So yes, there are a lot of amazing people on TikTok. Absolutely. So hi friend, we have somebody who's watching here on TikTok. Okay. So that is going to be our last session. After that, oops, I skipped ahead there. After that, we're going to do our last pajama party Q&A. I'm going to come answer your questions. We're going to do an event recap and a closing remarks. And that's going to be the weekend. That's going to be a wrap. And I think that's a lot to cover in 3 days, which is why everyone who buys a ticket to Mamas Talk Money gets 30 days in the Motivated Mama Society. No credit card, no recurring charge. You can decide at the end of 30 days if you want to stick around, but you'll be able to watch replays. You'll be able to ask me questions. You'll be able to continue to hang out with the amazing society that we have in the community that we're going to build through the event. The friends that you've made, because we all need money savvy mom friends, right? People who can talk money with us. And so, let's let you know tickets for this event. So we talked about this 3-day event. It's all live. We didn't talk a lot about the 90-day workshops, but just to remember, every day we're going to have a 90-minute Zoom workshop where I'm going to teach you guys a lesson. We're going to break you into small groups to work together, talk to other women, make sure that you've kind of got your vision, have people there to kind of challenge any limiting beliefs you might be having. Come back, hear the next step, and come in. And so by the end, we're going to be figuring that out. Okay. So the early bird bonus, these tickets are only $47 for this whole 3 days, access to all of these speakers, $47. And if you sign up in the next 48 hours before midnight on Tuesday, you get our My Legacy Starts Here official event notebook and this beautiful sticker pack that Lauren and I designed. It's actually coming from our side hustle business, wildly enough. These 9 stickers that say Legacy Builder, I'm an investor, cultivating generational wealth, Smart Money Kid, Smart Money Mama. I have already stuck a Smart Money Kid sticker on both of my kids' water bottles. Okay. And so fantastic. $47. Not 90-day workshops, sleepyhead, 90 minutes. Wow. Please don't make me put on a 90-day workshop. I will be so tired. 90-minute workshops. Okay. All right. Somebody said, is there a shirt for the summit? As you guys can notice with the sweatshirts and the mugs and the notebooks and the stickers, we love swag and we love letting you bring the money mindsets that you're building into your life. So there will be a swag shop with sweatshirts. There's a Legacy Builder sweatshirt. Unfortunately, my entire case of them for all of my speakers and for myself were supposed to arrive by FedEx today. And FedEx arrived 10 minutes before I arrived to the office, which means they did not leave it because they said the business was closed, and I don't have it to show you. But Legacy Builder sweatshirts, we will have a couple different t-shirt designs. We'll have these mugs, we'll have the notebooks, we'll have stickers. We actually have, okay, how weird is it going to be, guys? Tell me in the comments, how weird is it going to be if I run off screen for a second to show you something really cool? You vote. You guys tell me in the comments if I should, yes, the notebook and the stickers are physically mailed to you. This is a physical notebook for you to take notes all weekend. It's physically going to be mailed to you, okay? Somebody said, I love the quality of the stickers. Arena says, I can't believe it's only $47. I love how you make these summits so affordable. Can't wait. So excited. Okay. Ooh, go, go, go. All right. Be right back. Okay. I'm back. Okay. $47 for all 3 days. Yes. Okay. So one of the things we do at the Mamas Talk Money Summits, there's two things I want to tell you. One of the things we do is we pay all our speakers because we cannot be a platform about getting women to embrace their wealth, embrace their worth, and not pay speakers. We can't do that. So we pay all our speakers, but we also have become well known in the personal finance and business community because we send out the best swag gift boxes to our speakers. And this year we did something really super cool where we only worked with women-owned businesses. And so we found 12 different women-owned businesses that we ordered gifts from, and small businesses. And we had them, some of them created custom stuff for us. Some of them didn't. Just had like really cool stuff we already wanted. Okay. And so we had all of that stuff. And one of them is this woman, Bree, who's actually a friend of mine that I met through, I think, TikTok or Facebook, a Facebook group. I don't remember. But anyway, she does laser cut wood art, and she made these keychains specifically for our speakers for our event. And she is letting us put them in the shop. And so they're these wood keychains. They're amazing. But they just say worthy of wealth. And I'm so excited. It's the $47 for mamas only. Anyone can attend. You don't have to be a mama. I think all women are aunties and community builders, and they have people that they're influencing, and so you can absolutely learn from this event. This company is fantastic, by the way. I'm super, super excited of this. Okay. So, yes. Oh, Malicious Women also made us custom candles for the event. I love Malicious Women, and I'm actually working with them that they might put the candle in their shop for the week of the event. So if you want to order one of their candles, you can get the official summit one that says the scent is radical acts of wealth building infused with the scent is radical acts of wealth building infused with Mamas Talking Money. It's super, super cute. And so, yes, we will have info for all of these women-owned businesses. We're going to create a page where you can see what we got for the speakers and what they are. And then some of the items are going to be available in the shop. We have this, another friend of mine, Michelle, who takes agate little worry stones and letters on them. And so she has some things that she's making for us and whatever, and supporting small businesses is the best. We got to do that. And also, this is one other thing that we didn't mention, by the way. And so, first of all, I'm going to keep talking, but who thinks, one more time, comment yes in the comments if you think I should go open registration for tickets right now. Should I go click the button? Are we ready? Does everyone want us to open the doors? All right. It's so hard to keep up with the chat, guys. Okay. Here we go. I am going to open the doors right now. It's done. If you go to mamastalkmoney.com, you can sign up right now, get your ticket for $47. You'll have access to all 3 days. You'll have access to 30 days in the Motivated Mama Society. You'll get your free physical notebook and sticker pack, which I'm pointing this way because it's the wrong way. And so we are so excited for that and to have you in the society. But in the event. I am mincing all my words. Okay. So it's open. So another thing that we do, a big focus of ours, is making sure that diversity and inclusion is a focus of every platform that we run. Making sure when we have podcast guests, when we have speakers in the society, that we are bringing in a wide variety of perspectives. And so, for those goals forever, our goals have been to have 50% women of color any place that we bring in outside speakers. And so when we decided to build the gift box, what we decided to do is to do the same thing. Make sure that all of our stuff came from women-owned businesses, and that 50% came from women of color-owned businesses. And so there are some fantastic businesses represented that we're going to be able to share with you, which is why we want to share with you, that are Indigenous owned. We have Indigenous owned business, Latina owned businesses, Black owned businesses, and so we'll introduce you to all those women in the summit as well. So those are always things that are important to us. We want to make sure that no matter who is attending this event, you can see yourself on stage. You can see a woman who has changed her money mindset and built wealth that makes a difference, right? That is building the life that she wants. Okay. Somebody said it's 47 or 49. It's 49. And I'm so sorry I kept saying 47. It's 49, and it's just that I'm tired. I mentioned that I haven't been sleeping, and so I'm a little bit drunk brain. 49. Yes, I'm so excited that you're in. Rachel says, thank you for your dedication to diversity and inclusion. Yes. So somebody said, if you're a member of the society, do you have to buy the notebook? And so I mentioned in the email, guys, for if you're in the Motivated Mama Society, the Society Mamas will get early access to the swag shop. And you guys will get to use your product discount that you always get to use. And so you'll have that later this week. I'll get you that for you later this week. Actually, so the way you watch the event, we didn't talk about this either. All of the sessions will be streamed into the event Facebook group because it's going to be live. They will also be streamed onto the Mamas Talk Money site on a private page just for attendees. And so if you don't have Facebook, you can watch over there. However, to make sure you have the most access to comments and giveaways, we do highly recommend that you be in the Facebook group. You can enjoy the whole event without it and learn from everybody and get ready to go. But the Facebook group is the place to be. And so in the past, when we've run events, we've actually had people sign up for a Facebook group, sign up for a Facebook account just to attend the event, and then they delete it afterwards. That works totally fine. Or you can watch on the site. So everything will be streamed into the Facebook group. It makes it really easy too, that like all you have to do is go to the Facebook group during the session. I'm so glad you're excited, Angela. Yes. And so welcome, Susan. Susan, I'm so glad that you have a ticket. Yay, yay, yay. Words, Chelsea, words. Jill, I'm so glad you're in. Fantastic. Love your love for diversity of people and diversity of topics. Thank you. I'm going to probably stop talking in just a couple of minutes here because clearly I don't have any words. But if you have questions for me, I will attempt to answer them without mincing all my words, though Kate and Lauren, who are on the Smart Money Mamas team, are here to correct me when I say crazy things. Thank God. Right. Okay. I'm so excited for everybody. $49 for a ticket. If you register in the next 48 hours, you get the notebook and the sticker pack. Go to mamastalkmoney.com to register for the event. It's going to be fantastic. All right. Checking in with a friend before purchasing. Go to bed. Got my ticket. Fantastic. Guys, register. Join us. I can't wait to experience this with you in just a couple of weeks. We are going to have really important conversations. And I hope that many of you look back and say this was a turning point moment for you. This was an investment you made in yourself for $49, which is not a lot of money, that is going to change the trajectory of what financial legacy you're building for your family and the lessons that you're teaching your kids. This is it. This is why we do what we do. We are parents because we want to raise kids who have better options than we do, right? And we want to lead them by examples. Okay. All right. So one of the questions was, will the breakout groups, comments are going fast. Will the breakout groups be random or any way to group mamas with those dealing with similar mindset situations, etc.? It depends on how many mamas come to the event, Rachel, and how much we can manage that. I think in most cases, it's probably going to be random because we're expecting about 2,000 moms in attendance. And so that's gonna make it difficult, but we can see if we can figure that out, okay? Susan said, "I really missed your energy, Chelsea. So needed it today." So glad to be here. We'll be doing a few lives in the lead up to the event. We're gonna do one on teaching your kids about money, like the 5 lessons your kids need to learn about money. And so we'll be back. What is the price if we miss the deadline? Okay, so Tonya, $49 is the price all the way through. That's not tied to the early bird bonus at all. Anytime you buy a ticket between now and when the event starts, we will close ticket sales about 10 a.m. on 10 a.m. Eastern time on the day on Friday of the event before we start at noon, just so that we can kind of focus on the event, the people in the event. But it's $49 all the way through. The only thing that expires is the early bird bonus, and so $49 is just the price. And we talked about, so we wanted to make this completely accessible and affordable for the people who needed it, but we also wanted to make sure that, A, we're valuing our time and this is a huge event that we're putting on, and B, um I don't even know what B was. I'm tired. Oh, we do have options. I want to mention that in a second. I'm going to talk about it in a second. So there are scholarships available. So because this is an affordable price, but we know that some families are in difficult times and they want to learn this information, or they're ready to level up, but they just can't afford the ticket right now. So Smart Money Mamas is contributing 100 scholarship tickets. And we also have a scholarship fund. And so this is something that came about community driven in the last 2 events, both in 2019 and 2020. We had members of the community that said, "Hey, I can afford a ticket. I can afford more than one ticket. Can I buy a ticket for somebody else?" And so what we did is we started Mamas Talk Money Scholarship Fund, where you can contribute anything that gets contributed by community members. I will match dollar for dollar. And so if you contribute $10, I will contribute $10, and we will continue to add more more scholarship options for mamas who can't afford it. So if you know a friend that might be struggling, or you are currently struggling, Lauren's going to drop the link to the scholarship. You can also find it in the FAQs on mamastalkmoney.com. And if you want the link to the contribution as well, you can do that. All right. Joyce said, "I'm already in since I'm a Motivated Mama Society member, I think." Yes, you are in. You're good to go. Kate said she spent more than $49 on Girl Scout cookies. I think I did too. Fantastic. Drink water. Apparently, Sue can command me to do things. All right. Somebody said, "I've been missing Smart Money Mamas for $49. This is a no-brainer." Thank you. Thank you. We're so excited to have you. What's a breakout group? Okay, so in Zoom, we've all been on Zoom, right? We've all had Zoom meetings. It's a pandemic. We've all had Zoom meetings. So what happens is you come in, we're all in this big room. We can split you guys out into smaller groups. So what'll happen on Zoom is we'll make you into groups of kind of like probably 6 or 7 people. And then I will hit a button and you guys will have a little pop-up that says like go into a room, and you get to put in your own something. Go to your own room. Please repeat dates and hours. The event is April 8th through the 10th. We start at noon Eastern time, Friday and Saturday, and we end at about 9:30 p.m. both of those days, because the pajama party runs later, and so you don't have to come hang out for the Q&A, but those tend to be really, really great. And then please repeat and then on Sunday we start at 11 a.m. Eastern time and we end at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Hair by Dave says, "How do you advise us to plan for an event such as this in order to take away effectively and apply it?" For this event, as much as you can create space for this event, focus on this event. We are actually talking about in the Motivated Mama Society, and this is not an option for everybody, but we were talking about in the Motivated Mama Society how we haven't been able to travel as much the last 2 years because of the pandemic. And so if you're someone who has hotel or travel rewards, this is taking a staycation and focusing on the event, resting and relaxing in the morning, catching up on anything you missed, and really sitting and focusing it like you're at an in-person event. We have built this as much as possible for you to not feel like you're at a virtual event, but to feel like you're really in the community, you're really interacting. And so setting aside that time. So the event's in 3.5 weeks. This means asking your partner, asking a family member if they can watch your kids for a little while on one of those days. This is blocking off that time. And so you can also take a look at the schedule and decide which of these things are most important to you. If you don't have that ability to kind of really block off the weekend, figure out what's most important to you and really try to show up for those lives so that you can ask your questions. That's going to be the best thing to do. But protecting this weekend and treating it like a you're going to a conference and really protecting that time is going to be the best thing to do. Also, make sure you join the event. Facebook community is already open. And so while the event doesn't start till April 8th, we opened the group. People are already introducing themselves, getting to know each other. And so joining the group and introducing yourself, starting to interact a little bit so that you feel like you know a few people as you go into the weekend is also a good thing to do because it lets you kind of have those accountability buddies to bounce things off of as you go through the idea. All right. Yodel, I'm so excited that you have your ticket. So Teresa said maybe start a post in the group where people can get together and plan going into the same breakout rooms. Teresa, this is a great idea, but this is actually for the number of people from our side on Zoom and being able to drag hundreds and hundreds of people into the right groups because organizing people in Zoom is not that easy with breakout rooms, but we'll think about it. I don't think there's a way to naturally do that, but what we have done random groups. Let me just mention this. In the Motivated Mama Society, we do breakout rooms all the time. We do them for book club. We do them when we do trivia parties. We do them for all kinds of things. And they've always been random. And almost every time people come out and they're like, I learned so much. Oh my God. Even if your situation isn't exactly the same, there's a lot you can learn from each other. And actually, sometimes having somebody from an outside perspective can be helpful. And so, likely, I mean, 95% likely, our breakout rooms are going to be random because it's really the only way to organize it easily. But I'm telling you, you're going to find women you can learn from and that you connect with no matter what. And the groups will randomize every time we go back into breakout rooms. I will refresh them so that you meet as many people as possible and really kind of get that off. So make sure um, that's going great. Okay. We have the links to the scholarship things. I'm scrolling. Because I said it depends. That's funny. How much is a membership in the society? The society is $39 a month or $390 a year. So you get 2 months free if you do an annual subscription. The Motivated Mama Society includes a lot of things to really make sure we kind of have this support system to help you thrive with money. So we have a monthly live masterclass on a different topic. This can be anything from self-care and mindset to career and business, and obviously all the personal finance stuff in between. We do a monthly live Q&A pajama party with me. We have 2 Zoom study halls together. We call them work sessions every month. And so those are times where we have a Zoom room. I put on music. It's time for you to sit down and work on something to progress towards your goals. We found the first few months of the society that people were having trouble setting aside time to work on their stuff. And this means we use the benefits of body doubling, if you're familiar with that idea, which is that just having people around you working makes you more focused because you feel accountable to them and you feel like you are helping them work. And so you kind of all focus. Plus, as a parent, having a meeting where you have your headphones in and there's lots of other people on the screen makes your kids and your spouse less likely to interrupt you. And so we have those focus sessions. We also do a monthly bingo board, which is super small tasks that you can do on a daily basis. So every time you do one, you cross it off. And we do 13 giveaways every month for people who complete at least one line of the bingo board. This is all about habit generation and making sure that we're encouraging you guys to take those small daily actions every day that create wealth and create a positive mindset. And so that all comes with Motivated Mama Society, as well as Foundations, which is our in-depth course on how to do thriving mindset all the way through building wealth. That's 5 courses. And our library of over 40 masterclasses that are already in the society. So $39 a month, $390 a year. That was a long answer. Okay. All right. Is the schedule posted already? Yes. When you go to mamastalkmoney.com, if you scroll down, the whole itinerary will be in there for you. All right. Let's keep scrolling. Do you have the questions to identify which sessions are best for me like you had in 2020? Griselda, we don't have a survey like that this time because we have many fewer sessions. So there's 9 panels and 6 keynotes. And so there's a total of 15 sessions versus last year in 2020, we had 42 sessions, I think. And so it was a much different experience. And we really set up the schedule for this event to flow together. And so while if you don't have a lot of time, you can pick the sessions that are most valuable to you, we really have this set up to be a system so that you end the weekend feeling like you've accomplished something and that you have a plan of what you're going to do next. And so we really think as much as you can watch the whole event, great. That's going to be a great system. But yeah, we don't have a quiz just because it would be hard to do a quiz when we have so few sessions. It was much easier when we only had when we had so many more sessions. Somebody said I like random groups because we meet so many different people. Yeah, that's a great thing. All right, I'm looking for question marks. I'm scrolling through these comments just looking for question marks. Somebody said, "Here by Dave, I just bought a ticket. However, I'm also part of the Motivated Mama Society. Was it free for us?" Yes, it was free for you, the Motivated Mama Society. You should have gotten an email today to join for free. So send us an email and we'll get that sorted out for you. All right. Oh, yeah, and we have book club every other month. So we read a different book every other month. Our next book is Burnout. And we actually set that up so that it's not till the end of April. It's a very short book. It's not till the end of April. So everyone who has a ticket to the event that gets their 30 days in the society, you can join us for book club at the end of April and experience what that's like. We have not gotten confirmed yet that that author can visit us, but as often as possible, we try to get the authors of the books that we read to come hang out with us for 10 minutes at the beginning of book club to answer any questions. And so that's always a lot of fun too. All right. Bingo is fun. Jennifer, I'm so glad you're excited. Hence the advantage of replays for 30 days. Absolutely. So Stephanie says, wow, that sounds great. Sessions like that would be helpful for me. For example, I bought the family emergency binder months ago, but still haven't started filling it out. Stephanie, I will tell you that one of the things that we do in the society is there's 1 month of the year that is our emergency planning 30-day challenge that we don't have a masterclass, but you kind of get a small task every day to either fill out your emergency binder, to update your emergency binder and your estate plan. And so we really want that accountability. And so somebody said, I came in late and missed the first day sessions. Do you have time to go over it again? Just the title and times. I can really briefly, but the replay for this will also be up as soon as we're done. And the whole schedule is on mamastalkmoney.com. And so actually, because it's so late and because I am so exhausted, I love you all very much, but I'm so exhausted. Either watch the replay or if you go to mamastalkmoney.com, just scroll down, the whole itinerary is there and you can see everybody there. All right, everybody. Christy, I'm so glad you're here. Make sure to check it out. I can't wait to see you all inside. When you join and sign up, make sure you join the Facebook group and introduce yourself. Community is so important in this process. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a fantastic evening. Thank you for experiencing this with me. And we can't wait to see you at Mama's Talk Money.